Hi everyone, true northers and everybody else who is watching. Welcome to this vlog of mine, which I think I'm going to shoot over a period of time, only because I think what I have to say is like a combination of my year of misbehaving, my year of penetration, and my year of showing out. But I think the gist of my recording this video just has to do with what has happened in Afghanistan and just how much it has triggered me. Yeah, I know I'm not alone in this. Somebody may ask, why would what is happening in Afghanistan trigger you? Well, if you're not triggered, I think you need to check your humanity spectrum. But I think even aside from being triggered just from a human being perspective, even just from a soldier perspective, from a veteran perspective, and just from the perspective of why True North. Yeah. War is political, and war is a political decision. So I'm not here to make a political argument, right? I will leave that to the clueless politicians who will never go to war, have never gone to war, and the only war that they really can speak of is one of going to war to serve themselves. There, I said it. I said it, and I'm not taking it back. I'm tired of taking things back. I'm tired of holding things back. America could not be able to escape the humanity tsunami that happened. There was just no two ways about it. You know, you can't go to a place where people call home and try to tell them you know a better way to go about things, especially when you use force and violence, not just in the form of arms and ammunition, but people as well. My argument for this just has to do with triggering this thought and idea that while you might say my side is winning, you might say that side is being clobbered, you know, that side is being demoralized and dehumanized, and because that's what it is. It's just exchanging dehumanization. That's what war is, an exchange of dehumanization. Anybody else who says different must be a politician or is totally blonde, right? So I'm coming from the premise of, when you really look at it, war doesn't have any winners. And in fact, the team that you root for, the team that you say, this is my team, they don't escape it either, right? They also become, and listen to me loud and clear as I say this, they too become victims of war. They too become victims of war. And it doesn't stop there. So do their marriages, victims of war. Their children, victims of war. You might think, oh, but the person is not violent, the person is not threatening them and stuff like that. Well, anybody who has been to war just doesn't come back right. That's a fact. But I think also most importantly, in addition to knowing those facts, America spent over $2 trillion US, as the defense plan. Part of that defense plan is said to cater to the medical needs for life for all those soldiers who served their country with respect, diligently, bravely, and for those who died because they believed in the cause that they were fighting in, they even have a name for the families. Gold Star families. And yet, even that will not be enough. You've all heard about, Walter Reed and the amazing work they're doing, like the restoration of the physical body that they do there is phenomenal, right? But I think the privilege that Fort Belvoir Community Hospital offers just takes it on another level, because you have this huge facility that is catering specifically to the soldiers and the veterans of the war in Afghanistan. And I'm talking about something 5 times the size of KNH. So what bugs me is that we're not even financing our own war. So if you can't finance your own war, how do you expect to give lifelong care and support for life? For Kenyan soldiers and military veterans? And we're not just talking about the fact that you jump up and down and say DEFMIS. DEFMIS has said it will not cover anybody for mental health care, on top of all the other things that are really just exclusive and tone deaf to the kind of physical and psychological needs that come with those who have been in warfare. "10 years. And really, what is the plan for military veterans? What is the plan? Because you can draw a direct comparison between the duration of time one person, one soldier, can be able to do back-to-back deployments. It's not a regenerative well. It's not a bottomless pit of presence, energy, and sanity, because war is about depletion of human life, depletion of human spirit, depletion of human health, holistically, mental and physical. This is why I'm so triggered. Oh, my t-shirt. This is, you know, we spent over $2 trillion and we even got a shirt for it. I know people who served in this war, people who gave up their time, gave up their families, their marriages, their friendships, their comfort. I guess for people who don't understand that you have a bunch of people who make a conscious choice to deny themselves the everyday things that we all believe we need to make life worth living. To have a bunch of people who give that up and, you know, make the conscious choice and say, I'm going to do this, being very aware it's dangerous, being very aware that if you're not killed, you're maimed. I don't even know whether the right thing to say is pray you get killed on the battlefield, because it will end so much suffering for you, or you won't know about it, but really the suffering for your family will continue. What is the number that has not even been given their medical compensation this far? Over 700. 1 soldier, 2 soldiers, 3 soldiers, 4 soldiers, 5 soldiers, 6 soldiers, 700 plus. I'm talking about individually. Now we are Africans, so there's nobody who goes to war and they go solo. You know, you have a wife, there are some who have 2. I'll go even further and say there are those who have mistresses. This is the reality we're living in. Then there are children. Getting a job in the military is like making it. Yani ni ile kuomoka, like for real. So you have not just the responsibility of your immediate family, but you've gone ahead and gotten more wives, you have mistresses, but then you also have to pay your black tax. You have to educate your younger brothers and sisters and cousins, and I don't know which orphan from, you know, which epidemic, from which post-election violence, yeah, from which tribal clashes. And then you have your parents, because we are still at that stage where it was, as it was, where you are raised by your parents and they expect you to take care of them. So you have this one person who made the decision to go and defend his or her country with the absolute belief that, you know, he's all taken care of. Everything that has been promised in terms of, we shall honor your service, it's going to be done. But then what happens? Nothing happens. You can no longer work. You don't have another skill, because I mean, besides being taught how to kill people, what other skill is there that you can do out here that can generate for you income, that you can support yourself and support your family? Nothing. Zero. Hakuna. So you have this person who is actually like the intergenerational money person. So what do you think it does to a person who is already in a space where they have to leave because of medical issues, mostly mental, and yes, the physical also is there. But what do you believe the inability to provide for your family, to support your parents, and to be there for your family of origin, what do you think that does to somebody's esteem and dignity? Indignity is dangerous. Indignity leads people to make very defining choices. The fact that military veterans are not an agenda for this country, for the leadership of this country, irks me deeply, because it actually is confirmation to me that the support goes as far as wearing the uniform so we can all look alike. There, I said it. Yep. People think that, if we have gone to war, if it's still going on, then it must be, it must be necessary. Even in your own household, even you as a person, before you embark on a project, be it building a house, buying a bigger car or a new car or your first car, be it signing up for your PhD, be it building a house for your parents, any of those things, you literally ask the question, what is my budget? Where is my money coming from? And when you do your budget, you always have miscellaneous. Basics, fundamentals. The military industrial complex is real. I think the idea that it's not about money is confusing to only those who are naive and disillusioned. But those with clarity understand it's the money. Because it really, there is no transparency, there's no accountability in it. And when there is actually a law that ensures that a lead is kept on that, then it becomes weaponized. In that, because of the existence of this provision, shut the fuck up. And it's fine. I'm not saying change the rules, change the law, but I'm saying do what you gotta do. I said I'm not in the politics of this. Do what you gotta do. But military veterans and our families need to be an agenda. We need a law that gives us security, care, and protection because it's our right, because we have earned it, and because then you won't look like this person who just gives lip service, standing on podiums and picking microphones and saying these are our country's best. Like, even when I expand the conversation, I find myself thinking that if this country can literally take care of its best and finest justly, I think everybody else will be taken care of. That's my take. Because if those you call your best and your finest, this is the treatment you give them, I think everybody else is game. And so if that can be addressed, I think there can actually be like a national revolution in as far as care and protection for the most vulnerable people in this country, most vulnerable Kenyans, irrespective of whether they have been soldiers or not. But this country doesn't have a plan for its soldiers. It doesn't have a plan for its military veterans. You know, that's what the military veterans law is about. But you be the judge of it. You know, it gets read for the first time in August 1st of 2020. We are now entering the final quarter of 2021, and this is a process that's supposed to take 100 days. You be the judge of it. But I was really triggered, and I know that I'm not the only one. I stopped watching any kind of news coming out of Afghanistan. I stopped watching anything that I knew would mention Afghanistan because it just brought this descent of grief. A grief that is all well too familiar, that I'm very much aware of. So what we are seeing there, what we are yet to see, we can take it as the truth, consider ourselves students, and allow ourselves to be taught. I think it's the only way we can make different choices for our own situation. My doing this doesn't even mean anything. I know. In a world where there are so many voices, so many loud voices, I think a voice like mine maybe is not so comforting. Maybe it's too provocative. Perhaps it's even annoying. But I guess the question is it true? And that it is. But I think most importantly, for anybody who got triggered, you are well within your real human response. You are well within your human response. And it does not mean anything that is meant to diminish your capacity as a human being, as a person, as just a person who is alive to the humanity of yourself. You know where to find me if you need help, because that's what I do. The help I provide is to build on the human spirit. That's what I do. That's what I'm going to keep doing.